All right, hey, just an injury update here, real quick. So Becton, obviously, went out with his shoulder. Um, it, the MRI and everything turned out better than really that we were thinking last night. We'll kind of see how he gets through the rest of the week, and then possibly, he could play in this game. So we'll just kind of take this one day by day. Obviously, we're doing the walkthroughs and things like that. There's just going to be a lot of work in the training room to try to just see where he's at by Thursday. So hopefully things just trend in the right direction. Jordan, with the shoulder, it was he toughed it out during the game. I think it's going to be hard to hold him out, but there's a possibility he's kind of the same. Where we're working this thing day to day, just see how he feels. I know he's going to do everything he can to go. Perryman with the ankle, obviously he's still not where he needs to be for us to put him out there. Crowder with the hamstring, he's going to be able to do our walkthroughs and things like that. We'll kind of see where we're at when we hit Thursday. George Fant still in the concussion protocol, but he's kind of taking those next steps. Same thing with Quincy Wilson. Ashton Davis with the groin. I think he's going to try to do some of the walkthrough stuff, but we'll kind of see where he's at by Thursday. We'll less hopeful for him. And then, what am I missing here? Jordan Willis is had the ankle. That one we'll kind of see where we're at on Thursday, but I'm not really feeling great about where he's at right now. So with that, any questions you guys have?
Connor from The Athletic, your line is active.
Hey, Adam. I was just wondering, through the first 3 weeks, obviously, they haven't really gone as you guys would have hoped, but what would you consider as this team's identity, both on offense and on defense?
Well, it's hard to say anything offensively because, once we play with our starting wide receiver group, then I'll have a better idea of, what that looks like once Lev gets back. But it's hard to say after 3 games. Defensively, it just kind of feels like the same. We've had a lot of guys rotating in and out there. I think we got to get better at tackling and, just keep improving on the situational stuff, finding ways to create pressure on the quarterback. Phillips hard to go against because he gets the ball out so quick. We just got to figure out a way to stop the run game, put a little pressure on the quarterback, and create turnovers.
Star 3 if there are any questions. Star 3 if there are any questions for Coach. Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
Yeah, Adam, now that you've had a chance to review it, could you, if you don't mind, just walking us through Sam's 3 interceptions and what you saw, what he should have done?
The first one was, I wish Cage would have released differently. Kind of got stuck at the top of the route. Sam was right where we went with the ball. We didn't get that hook up right, and we can't. What happened can't happen on that route. We got to stay tighter. We got to make sure that we snap that off at the top, get big. He's got to throw that with anticipation. The second and third ones, we just got to eliminate. We can't jam that in there in the red zone. And then the last one, obviously he wasn't right with what he did.
Brian from the Post, your line is active.
All right, just what's your message to Sam after a game like that where, he gives 2 pick sixes up and 3 interceptions? And then secondly, any of the guys that went on IR at the beginning of the year, would you have them this week, particularly the 2 Smiths at receiver?
Yeah, we're looking into that. We'll see if Joe, getting with Joe about making a move of being able to activate one of those guys. I think we were just talking through of what's the right thing to do considering we won't technically practice this week. So, we'll have to kind of make that decision. And then, just a conversation like we had on the plane last night and today, really on the plane last night, it was watch this. He knew a lot of, he knew what he needed to do differently in this last game, but we gotta watch it and move on, because I mean we're right into Denver. We don't have time to sit there and feel sorry for ourselves and do I wish I would have done this or I could have done this. Like we got to move on to the next game. We got to get ready for this one because it's coming up quick.
Kim from NFL Network, your line is active.
Hey, Adam, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm just wondering, with this storm that's coming down, it seems like solely on you as the person who's taking the blame for this entire Jets operation at this point. How are you? How are you handling all of this?
I mean, this is the NFL. I mean, we're 0-3 right now. We haven't played well. We have to improve quickly, and my job is to do everything I can to get our guys in the right headspace heading into Sunday. It was frustrating because I felt like we started out doing some good stuff early in the game. We couldn't sustain it. We did some things that just shot ourselves in the foot to where now the game gets out of control. I mean, we had to play that game a certain way, and we had to make sure that we did a good job of when we get our opportunities scoring in the red zone. And we didn't finish the things the right way, and next thing you know, we have no chance in the game. But for me, I have to do a great job of making sure that I keep our players in the right headspace, because when a lot of negativity is coming at you and things are hard, that's when everybody's character has to really show up, and they got to go to work, and we got to get fixed.
Al from Newsday, your line is active.
Yeah, Adam, I was just wondering, when Sam has a game like that, is there a point where you're thinking maybe, you take him out, or is it somewhat not the right time right now because you don't have a veteran backup for him?
I feel like that's always a tough decision, because he's 23 years old and he's in his third year, and I think every snap that he takes in a real game they're so valuable. They're learning experiences. You have to go through tough situations sometimes. It's not always going to be smooth. You're going to go through times where it's tough on him. I mean, it's tough on when we're trying to call plays and things aren't going the way we want them to. I mean, but that's kind of what we have. That's what we're having to go through right now. And I think he just needs to keep playing. He needs to keep playing. He keeps fixing the mistakes that are made, and then really emphasizing the things that he's doing really well, and just keep building on those.
Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
Yeah, I have a two-part question. Adam, this week, are you going to make any staff changes or perhaps redistribute some responsibilities of guys on the staff?
No. Is that part one?
Okay. That was part one. Part two, since the end of the game yesterday, have you talked to Christopher, and what kind of feedback did you get from him?
Yeah, I talk to Christopher almost every day. I mean, he's here all the time. Saw him today. Joe and myself were kind of going over some roster stuff, and then he came in and we just sat there and kind of reviewed the game a little bit, and then just talked about what we were going to do this week.
Connor from The Athletic, your line is active. Hold on, let me try to get Connor back in. Kim from NFL Network, your line is active.
Adam, I'm sorry that you probably mentioned it. My connection's been going in and out a little bit. With Denzel Mims, what's the update on him, and how much has his situation kind of represented your whole season? This is someone, obviously, I don't need to tell you, that you guys had such high hopes for. You were so excited to have him after the draft, and yet you haven't gotten a snap out of him yet.
Right. Well, we'll see where he's at after this game.
Okay.
We got quite a few guys that are going to be available to come off of IR after this game. So, we're looking at getting 3 or 5 guys back possibly. So we'll kind of see where he's at, and we need to get him in practice because he's done some individual on a few days, and then we had some set snaps of 7-on-7. Then he got hurt again. So we got to get him out there. The good thing is he's been really engaged in anything that has to do with game planning and things like that. So he's trying to learn everything as much as he can with what he's able to do, and hopefully when we get him back, we can just get him rolling and get him involved.
Connor from The Athletic, your line is active.
Adam, the last time that Sam was kind of going through a little bit of a rut was last year, and that's kind of when he came into your offense. You guys worked together, and you retaught him the offense in a way. Do you think it would benefit him at all if things were simplified at all, or do you think that maybe he is overthinking or thinking too much, either pre-snap or during the play, and that's the reason for some of his struggles?
I think in this last game, he was playing well. I think we had the when we had the pick in the end zone, that we did not recover well from that, and then we get to 3rd and 2, and I thought he did a good job going through his progression, and we didn't convert, and it just after that, then it just really got away from us. We're always going to look to, all right, hey, what's the best thing for us to do? Especially big picture wise, and for that week. So we're always going to be looking to do that. We want to put our players in the best position possible to have success. But that's something that we're always evaluating and trying to see what's the best thing to do, especially with him, for the week coming up. So obviously with the short week this week, we gotta be smart with what we do. We gotta get him in a rhythm, and our guys, we gotta do a good job of executing whatever's called and go make some plays.
Last question, Rich from ESPN. Your line is active.
You said that Becton's MRI turned out better than you originally thought. So what did you originally think? And just from watching the tape, it didn't look like on the play that he got hurt that it was anything like a big collision or anything. So I'm wondering, when did it happen?
He got extended, and it kind of got rotated. So it was the same one that, like you asked me last night, it was the same shoulder, and it was, and I think we all kind of got nervous because he was kind of grabbing his pec a little bit. Some of that they keep some of the details away from me during the game. They just said, hey, we're going to go check him out. So I guess it was just we weren't really sure until we got the MRI back, and I know he's very motivated to get back out there. He kind of saw how the holes weren't opening up the same when he's out of the game.